So sometimes you gotta reconfirm your stance. Double down even on the fact that I'm not leaving the house. You know what I mean? Unless it's absolutely, positively necessary. It gotta be necessary. And I do mean necessary, emphasis on necessary. This world is crazy, man. It's a lot of weird and crazy things happening. This video here is weird and unbelievable things that are happening around the world. Let me share or let's look at together some reasons why or some things that may make me say I'm not leaving the house. Let's check it out.
The mystery of Paola Miranda Rosa. The mysterious case of Paola Miranda Rosa continues to leave her family and the public with unanswered questions. Paola was last seen in December 2021, the day after she had lunch with her family. According to relatives, she had been doing much better in recent times, showing signs of stability and a more peaceful state of mind. Her family, who had long supported her through challenging periods in her life, had noticed a visible improvement in her demeanor and outlook. On the day she went missing, Paola drove out to Wekiva River area in Florida. Her car was later found abandoned by authorities at the state park. The exact contents left inside the vehicle have not been officially confirmed, though some reports indicate that personal belongings may have been left behind. Around the same time, 2 hikers in the area captured a short video clip of a woman entering the river, wading into the water, and swimming for brief moments. The individual appeared calm and was wearing casual clothes, not swimwear, which the hikers initially found curious. It wasn't until a few days later, after the video circulated alongside news reports of Paola's disappearance, that the hikers realized the person in their footage resembled the woman being searched for. They promptly shared the video with law enforcement. Upon reviewing the clip, Paola's family confirmed that the woman seen entering the river was indeed her. From that point forward, an extensive search was launched by the Osceola County Sheriff's Office. Dive teams were deployed, and advanced underwater drones were used to scan the river and surrounding areas. Despite these efforts, no definitive signs or clues were found. Sheriff Marcos Lopez publicly addressed the matter, stating that even with the assistance of Marine deputies and technology, the search had yielded no concrete evidence of Paola's presence in the water or surrounding.
Now, in this type of situation, you would almost have to safely assume that that person doesn't want to be found. That doesn't mean I'm saying stop the search or anything like that, but I'm just saying based upon the video that we just saw, it just gave off a feeling of a person that if they went missing after that, it's probably because they wanted to. Still, I hope the family finds them or gets closure.
Surrounding wilderness. Deputies also expanded the search into the woods flanking the river, canvassing both sides and deploying drones to get aerial views of the terrain. Yet, their efforts came up empty. The sheriff expressed confidence in saying that it did not appear Paola remained in the immediate area, though her precise whereabouts remain unknown. The family, holding on to hope, continued to organize their own searches and spread awareness through social media and community networks. January 2022 came and went with no major updates, and the case remains open. The uncertainty surrounding Paola's disappearance has left her loved ones in a state of heartbreak and confusion. Those who know Paola describe her as a thoughtful and artistic person with a deep love for nature. Her quiet, gentle spirit had touched many in her community, and her sudden absence has left a void. As time passes, her family remains committed to finding answers, hoping that someone, somewhere, may come forward with a piece of information that could help bring her home. Until then, the mystery of what happened to Paola Miranda Rosa continues to linger in the hearts and minds of those who knew and cared for her. Police hear a mysterious voice. On Saturday, March 8, 2015, 4 first responders in Spanish Fork, Utah, experienced something so unusual that it has continued to puzzle both officials and the public to this day. Officers and firefighters who arrived at the scene of a car accident reported hearing a soft, desperate woman's voice calling for help. The sound led them directly to the wreckage of a vehicle submerged in the Spanish Fork River. Inside the car, they found a young mother who had sadly passed away, and her 18-month-old daughter, miraculously still alive in the back seat. The mother, 25-year-old Lynn Grosbeck, had been driving alone with her daughter Lily when, for reasons still unknown, her car veered off the road and crashed into the icy river. The cause of the accident remains unclear. No mechanical issues were found, and there were no skid marks to indicate any attempt to brake. Authorities believe the car struck a cement barrier, causing it to flip into the river. Toxicology reports later suggested there was no sign that Lynn had been under the influence of any substances. The accident occurred sometime around 12:30 in the evening on Friday, but it wasn't until the next morning, 14 hours later, that the vehicle was spotted by fishermen who contacted authorities. Emergency responders quickly arrived, including Spanish Fork police officers Tyler Beddoes and Jared Warner, and firefighters Lee Meckham and Paul Tomadakis. As they approached the overturned red Dodge sedan, all 4 rescuers reported hearing a woman's voice softly calling for help from inside the car.
That was the mom. That gives me chills. That mom stayed around, whether alive or dead. Her presence stayed around long enough to make sure her child was rescued. Whether it was as a spirit that was leaving the body but wasn't ready to ascend yet, or she stayed alive long enough. And when she heard rescue coming, she was able to take a last breath. Like, that just goes to show you the power of a parent, and that they'll do everything to make sure that their kids seen about, rescued or whatever.
When they flipped the vehicle and gained access, they were struck by the realization that Lynn had not survived the accident and could not have been the source of the voice they had just heard. In the back seat, however, Lily was found alive and still strapped into her car seat, suspended upside down just inches above the freezing water. Officer Tyler Beddoes later stated in interviews that the experience had left him searching for answers. He said that for 2 nights, he would lay awake trying to figure out exactly what it could be. All he knew was that it was there, it was real, they all heard it. Despite previously identifying as an atheist, Beddoes admitted that the event had shifted his perspective, describing it as a potential miracle, one in which a mother may have intervened in some way to protect her child.
Exactly. And I can't see no other way. Nothing else would make sense to me except that mom sticking around until that child was cared for, rescued. You call it a miracle, you can label it whatever you want, but you won't convince me otherwise that wasn't the reason. That was all that mom.
Lily's survival under such extreme conditions was considered extraordinary. For over half a day, she endured near freezing temperatures with no food or water, wearing only a flannel onesie. The freezing river had filled much of the car, and the cold water had come dangerously close to her head. Yet somehow, she endured. She was rushed to Primary Children's Hospital, where her condition was listed as stable. Only 2 days after her rescue, her family joyfully shared that Lily was smiling, laughing, and even singing. Her grandfather expressed overwhelming gratitude for her progress and the heroic efforts of the first responders. The emotional contrast between the sorrow of losing Lynn and the joy of Lily's recovery left a lasting impact on everyone involved. While the story continues to be framed by some as a miracle, others point to the resilience of the human body and spirit. Whether explained by spiritual intervention or simply the alignment of improbable circumstances, the story of that mysterious voice and the survival of little Lily remains a powerful and uplifting account of hope in the face of tragedy. The dire wolf has not been brought back from extinction. In recent months, Colossal Biosciences made international headlines with a striking announcement: the alleged revival of the long-extinct dire wolf. The company claimed that 3 pups born through genetic engineering, Remus, Romulus, and Khaleesi, marked the return of a species not seen for over 10,000 years. According to their statement, these animals were not just symbolic representations, but actual dire wolves brought back through the science of de-extinction. However, upon closer inspection, scientists have questioned this assertion, suggesting that what has truly been achieved is not a resurrection of the species, but a scientific hybrid, more accurately described as a modified grey wolf.
Exactly. And we don't know how this thing is going to respond or evolve. We don't know if it's going to stay nice, friendly, or what, or will it eventually turn, go after humans? They don't know what they created. 2 words, pet cemetery. They might have brought back the wrong animal, bro. This could be bad for us. And they did it.
The concept of de-extinction is not new, and the idea of bringing back iconic species such as the dire wolf has captured the public imagination. But experts like paleogeneticist Dr. Nick Rawlance of Otago University urge caution. According to Dr. Rawlance, the process of working with ancient DNA is far more complex than it might appear in press releases. Fossilized remains of dire wolves yield highly degraded DNA, often fragmented beyond practical use. He likens ancient DNA to placing fresh DNA in an oven at 500 degrees overnight. It becomes unrecognizable shards and dust, inadequate for direct cloning or comprehensive reconstruction. Rather than using an intact dire wolf genome, Colossal relied on synthetic biology. The technique involved identifying specific traits attributed to dire wolves, such as a broader skull structure and distinctive fur coloration, and editing those traits into the genetic code of grey wolves. These modified embryos were then implanted in surrogate domestic dogs, resulting in the birth of 3 genetically edited pups. Dr. Rawlance argues that while these pups may bear some superficial resemblance to dire wolves, they are, at their core, grey wolves with select modifications. They are hybrids, not true representations of a species long vanished. Dr. Beth Shapiro, a biologist with Colossal Biosciences, has defended the effort, stating that their goal was to reintroduce animals with characteristics of extinct species, not necessarily perfect replicas. She emphasized that the grey wolf is the dire wolf's closest living relative, and by targeting DNA sequences associated with physical traits, the company could recreate something similar in appearance and potentially function. From a scientific perspective, however, this approach does not equate to true de-extinction. The taxonomic distinction is also significant. Dire wolves and grey wolves diverged millions of years ago, existing within entirely separate genera. Though Colossal was able to identify 20 changes across 14 genes responsible for some dire wolf-like features, that represents only a minuscule portion of the genetic differences between the 2 animals. According to Dr. Rawlance, the small number of edited genes cannot transform a grey wolf into a true dire wolf, regardless of physical similarities. This scientific nuance holds broader implications. By declaring the dire wolf back, Colossal risks oversimplifying the reality of extinction. The phrase extinction is forever serves as a sobering reminder that once a species is lost, it cannot be fully retrieved. Replacing that loss with something similar, no matter how impressive, is not the same as reversing it. Dr. Rawlance warns that such announcements may send the wrong message to the public, suggesting that environmental destruction is reversible through science. If extinction is perceived as temporary, there may be less urgency to protect endangered species and their habitats in the first place. While the birth of the genetically edited pups is undoubtedly a scientific achievement, it also highlights the ethical and philosophical questions surrounding de-extinction efforts.
Yeah, they're not bringing back extinct animals. They're bringing back similar animals that are extinct. We don't know what these new, as they called it, hybrid animals are, what they can do. Like I said before, one could be calm and meek, and you might be able to go up to and pet that animal once, the one that went extinct. But this one now, you don't know that. You don't know that. You don't know how it's going to respond. You don't know what it's going to become over time, what they're going to be like. Like this stuff, this could be bad. I hate to say it, and everybody's thinking about it. This is Jurassic Park, though. This is exactly how that movie went wrong. You cannot predict this stuff, bro. And now you done did and probably mixed it with DNA of something else to combine the strand of DNA or whatever, or to repair it or patch it up or whatever they do, and use this, and then it caused it to make this. And now this is terrorizing us. Like, they're not going to stop until they do something, and it ain't going to be no turning back.
As Colossal continues its work, not just with dire wolves, but also with other species like the woolly mammoth and thylacine, the scientific community and the public must engage critically with what these breakthroughs mean. The story of the dire wolf pups may be captivating, but it also serves as a reminder that science, no matter how advanced, cannot easily undo the consequences of extinction. Mysterious object seen hovering close to the moon. The image, reportedly taken during daylight hours, shows a large circular object hovering in close proximity to the moon. What makes the photograph particularly compelling is the object's apparent size and the clarity with which it appears against the backdrop of the lunar surface. Its perfect circular shape and the distinct contrast between it and the moon have led many to question what exactly has been captured in this mysterious image. As soon as the photo was posted online, it was rapidly shared across several platforms and forums dedicated to the investigation of unidentified aerial phenomena, particularly those that appear near the moon.
It looks like a quote-unquote, you know how the balloons, remember the balloons that they took down that was crossing over into the U.S.? Kind of looks like that. They're on the moon. Like, where are these balloons coming from?
Observers have pointed out that while unusual lights and streaks near the moon have been photographed before, often during the night, this sighting is especially noteworthy because it occurred during the day. Some viewers speculate that the object may be a large craft or unidentified aerial phenomenon, given its size and symmetrical form. Its appearance near the moon, a celestial body long rumored to be a hotspot for strange activity, only adds to the mystery. Those who study unexplained phenomena have long documented unusual behavior near the moon, dating back decades. From glowing lights and transient lunar phenomena to structured shadows and orbiting objects, the moon continues to be the center of numerous unexplained sightings. Theories range from secret space programs and alien observation posts to natural lunar phenomena, yet to be fully understood by modern science. What fuels the intrigue even further is the growing body of amateur footage and images from backyard astronomers and stargazers, many of whom report unexplained anomalies around the moon on a regular basis. With the increasing accessibility of high-powered cameras and telescopes, more people than ever are turning their lenses skyward, and what they're capturing often defies easy explanation. This latest photograph joins a growing archive of compelling lunar anomalies that continue to elude conventional scientific explanation. Skeptics argue that the object could be a weather balloon, satellite, or even an out-of-focus bird or drone. However, those who have examined the image closely point out the object's size and proximity to the moon as elements that make these explanations difficult to support. As of now,
yeah, either way, it does kind of look like it's kind of coming down to possibly land there. For what? I don't know. Or it could be taken off. It could be taken off. Just the angle that I'm looking at it. It looks like it's kind of landing, whatever it is. Whatever it is. Again, the moon could be the meeting place.
No official explanation has been offered regarding the image. The Earth has a mysterious heartbeat every 26 seconds. Beneath the surface of Earth, a faint but persistent phenomenon continues to puzzle the scientific community, a subtle seismic pulse that echoes approximately every 26 seconds. Often referred to as Earth's heartbeat, this mysterious tremor has been quietly resonating for decades, yet it remains largely unexplored. While many theories exist, no definitive explanation has been agreed upon, and what is most surprising is the scientific community's general reluctance to devote significant resources to investigate it. The phenomenon was first noticed in the 1960s by geologist Jack Oliver, a pioneer in the field of seismology. At the time, technological limitations made it difficult to study the subtle vibrations in detail. The pulse was detected by seismometers, but lacked the attention or the tools needed for a full-scale investigation. It was eventually catalogued and left largely unexamined, dismissed as a minor geological curiosity rather than a pressing mystery. Decades later, with seismic instruments far more sensitive and sophisticated than those available in the 1960s, the heartbeat once again captured the attention of researchers. Seismologist Mike Ritzwaller at the University of Colorado noticed the regular pulsations during his studies and realized that they were consistent and measurable, raising new questions about their source. Alongside him, Garrett Ewell also investigated the anomaly and was able to narrow down the origin of the pulses to the Gulf of Guinea, specifically a region known as the Bight of Bonny. According to Ewell's findings, the pulses are likely caused by ocean waves interacting with the sea floor. As waves crash into the continental shelf, where the ocean becomes shallower and the seafloor rises closer to the surface, they create fluctuating pressure zones. This energy transfer causes subtle but consistent tremors in the Earth's crust, scientifically categorized as microseisms. These are not dangerous and are not related to tectonic activity in the way that earthquakes are, but they persist like a rhythmic drumbeat beneath the ocean, echoing through the Earth's interior. Despite the curiosity the heartbeat generates, many researchers remain uninterested in dedicating the necessary time and funding to investigate it further. Seismologist Doug Wines.
Wait. We don't have the fund, but we funding so many other different things. Instead of funding something that we need to figure out that possibly could affect our lives, our planet. Like, it don't make sense. Because if you look at some of the stuff that we're funding, the outrageous things that we have dollars going to, how does this not make the list?
Expressed the sentiment shared by many of his peers, stating that the phenomenon falls outside the core areas of seismological research. The main priority remains understanding the Earth's structure beneath continents or studying active earthquake zones. The lack of urgency and investment in understanding the 26-second pulse leaves a gap in our knowledge about Earth's natural rhythms. The phenomenon serves as a reminder of how much remains.
What's going to end up happening is it's going to become greater or you know what I mean, more noticeable. It won't be so faint. And then it's going to be a problem. When they start to care about it, it's going to be too late. And all you're going to hear is, man, if we could have gotten to it sooner, and then the fingers would be pointing the blame at people. But now we have an opportunity to see if this could be a problem for us in the future. And if it is, then what can we do right now to stop it or slow it down? If that's possible. Like they love to wait till it's too late.
Hidden beneath the planet's surface, waiting for someone to take a closer look. Until then, Earth's soft, persistent heartbeat will continue unnoticed by most and unexplored by those who might be capable of solving the mystery. Earth's magnetic pole is shifting. Earth's magnetic north pole has always been in motion, but recent changes in its trajectory have sparked renewed scientific interest and raised important questions. Unlike the geographic North Pole, which is a fixed point at the top of the Earth's axis, magnetic north is the point where the planet's magnetic field lines converge vertically. This point is not stationary, as it is controlled by the dynamic processes occurring deep within the Earth's outer core, a turbulent sea of molten iron and nickel nearly 1,800 miles beneath the surface. As this core shifts, so too does the magnetic field, in a process known as the geodynamo. However, what has drawn attention in recent years is the speed and direction of this movement, which has dramatically accelerated towards Siberia. First identified in 1831 by explorer James Clark Ross, the magnetic North Pole had moved slowly for much of the 20th century. For decades, it migrated from Canada toward Russia at a rate of roughly 6 miles per year. But around the turn of the 21st century, that rate surged to 31 miles per year, a speed never before recorded. In the past 5 years, however, scientists have observed a sudden slowdown, with the rate now at around 22 miles annually. This dramatic change, both in acceleration and deceleration, has baffled researchers. According to William Brown of the British Geological Survey, the magnetic pole's current behaviour is unlike anything seen before. This shift has implications far beyond academic interest. The World Magnetic Model, developed and updated by British and American scientists every 5 years, tracks the pole's position and provides vital data to GPS systems, aviation routes, and naval navigation. Any deviation from the predicted path of the magnetic pole can lead to miscalculations in positioning systems that depend on it, potentially affecting both civilian and military operations. The most recent update of the World Magnetic Model, released in December, places the magnetic North Pole closer to Siberia than at any point in modern history. This shift is believed to be influenced by changes in the magnetic field's strength in key regions. Geophysicist Kieran Beggan of the British Geological Survey notes that while the field is weakening over Canada, it is strengthening over Siberia. This imbalance may be drawing the pole eastward. Still, no definitive cause has been established, and scientists continue to debate the underlying reasons. Arno Chuliat, a senior research scientist at the University of Colorado and National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, emphasizes the importance of keeping the world magnetic model up to date, explaining that the longer the model goes without updates, the more error-prone navigation becomes. In 2019, due to the pole's unexpectedly fast movement, the model was updated a year earlier than scheduled. The decision underscored how crucial accurate magnetic data is for industries that rely on precise geolocation. While researchers continue to monitor Earth's magnetic field, they acknowledge that it remains one of the most complex and unpredictable systems on the planet. The ongoing shift of magnetic north, especially its march towards Siberia, reminds humanity of the restless nature of the Earth beneath their feet and the importance of understanding it. A mysterious black hole starts flashing, and scientists don't know why. A mysterious, supermassive black hole has recently left scientists baffled as it began flashing in a way never seen before. Located approximately 200 and...
Dang, that's something I never even thought of, too. Black holes changing or evolving into something different. I never really thought about that or associated that with black holes. That's scary, bro. That's scary.
70 million light years from Earth, this black hole, estimated to have the mass of about 1 million suns, has become the center of astronomical intrigue due to its increasingly erratic behavior. Originally catching the attention of astronomers in 2018, this black hole exhibited a highly unusual event. Its corona, a region of extremely hot plasma encircling the black hole, appeared to vanish completely, only to return months later. That disappearance itself was considered unprecedented and led scientists to keep a close watch on the cosmic object. Since then, it has only grown more mysterious. Over the past 2 years, astronomers have recorded a strange phenomenon: X-ray flashes emanating from the black hole that are not only regular, but increasing in frequency. Initially, the black hole produced X-ray bursts every 18 minutes, but those intervals have steadily shortened, and the black hole is now flashing approximately every 7 minutes. This kind of rhythmic, accelerated activity has never before been documented in black holes, which are known for their erratic, but usually chaotic and unpredictable emissions. Erin Kara, associate professor of physics at MIT and a co-author of the new study, explained that scientists had continued observing the black hole simply because of its earlier behavior. She said that it was so beautiful, referring to the corona's disappearance and reappearance. Then, the unusual rhythmic flashes began, prompting further investigation. The research was led in part by Megan Masterson, a graduate student in physics at MIT, who stated that the behavior looked absolutely nothing like a normal black hole. The leading theory to explain this mysterious behavior involves a white dwarf star, a dense stellar remnant formed when a star exhausts its fuel, potentially orbiting very near the black hole's event horizon. The theory suggests that the white dwarf is managing to avoid being swallowed entirely, possibly skimming the very edge of the black hole's immense gravitational pull. If true, this would represent the closest known object to a black hole of this size ever detected. Masterson noted that if a white dwarf were indeed maintaining such a precarious orbit, it would emit gravitational waves, ripples in space-time that could, in theory, be detected by future gravitational wave observatories. Such a discovery would be groundbreaking, offering scientists new ways to observe and study black holes and their environments. What makes the situation even more compelling is the apparent regularity of the flashes, which indicate a consistent, periodic phenomenon occurring very close to the black hole's innermost stable orbit. That consistency challenges existing models of black hole behavior and raises new questions about the forces and objects that might be interacting near such an extreme environment. The findings were detailed in a recently published article in the journal Nature, titled "Millihertz Oscillations Near the Innermost Orbit of an Extreme Supermassive Black Hole." While the mystery remains unsolved, this discovery opens a new chapter in the study of black holes, suggesting that even the universe's darkest objects still hold flashes of the unknown.